Hey everyone, welcome to your practice. I'm Molly and today we're gonna do a yoga ball practice. Short, sweet, feel good, probably 10 or 15 minutes. Grab a yoga ball. It's nice to explore with different sizes. If you have access to a gym, you can kind of see which one works for you because we have different length torsos and limbs and everything, but also just do what feels good. I'm sure you can experiment and explore in your own body and find some stuff that feels good. And give yourself permission to close your eyes, to let yourself be weird, to let yourself let go of strong aligned yoga postures and instead move into some ease and some embodiment. I love doing these classes for days where I've had a really heavy physical day, either through exercise or my job or through parenting, and I want to move, but I want to feel really supported. This is great for that. So set up your space, light a candle, put on some music, and before we get started, check the link below after this class if you want to get a free 1-week trial to my fitness app. I combine strength and conditioning and yoga lifestyle practices in a way that's really effective and balanced and sustainable. So I like it. I hope you like it. Let's get started in a kind of a cobra pose. So the ball's gonna come underneath our belly. We're prone, meaning face down. Dig your elbows into the ball, tuck your toes and lift your knees off the mat. And these are going to be some of my favorite postures that I do if I'm having a day where I'm having some aches and pains. So this is really nice personally for my pelvis. You can kind of feel that space being created between your rib cage and your hip bones. And feel free to adjust here. If you need to drop your knees, that can feel really good too. If you want to stay still or maybe take some gentle rocking motions, pushing through the balls of your feet and toes. And send breath down the length of your spine into the belly and the low back and the sides of the waist. And then send breath into the rib cage, kind of your turtle shell on the back body, and then the sides of your rib cage expanding outwards, and then maybe the front kind of pushing into the ball. And let your breath move into your chest. A little bit of a rise of your collarbones. Couple more breaths here, and if you haven't already, maybe let's drop down to the knees and dig the elbows into the ball even more. So we're thinking of creating a rounded posture where we can really find some space through the spine and the pelvis. Good. Bring your knees wide, untuck your toes, and then sit your hips back towards your heels in Virasana. Extend your arms and rest your forehead onto the ball. Maybe you hum on your exhale. Big sighs, let it go. Good. Shift your knees so that they're kind of parallel, your thighs are parallel, and then drive your hips forward, coming to stand on the shins. Toes can be tucked or untucked. Roll the ball just a little bit forward, a few inches. Place your left hand on it, and then inhale to twist your right arm open and back. Your gaze can follow your right thumb. So you're breathing in here to your twist. Breathe out, both hands plant on the ball. Roll it forward and lower down into child's pose. So hips to heels, arms stretching forward. Inhale, drive your hips forward. Right hand plants, left arm twists open. Exhale, left hand meets right. Roll the ball forward a little bit, child's pose. Moving with your breath, inhale to twist open. Exhale to fold. Over to the left. Back through center. And do one more on each side on your own time. Following the length of your breath, not rushing, not forcing. From your child's pose, let's roll the ball all the way forward to the very top of the mat and then stack your hips over your knees. So you find a puppy. Arms are extended long, your torso is kind of hammocking, so the heart is melting down towards the mat. It won't reach because we're elevated up onto the ball, but this can feel really good. You can push down into the ball to stretch open the shoulders. So this will be our inhale. On an exhale, roll the ball back until you can round into a cat shape. So it can look different for different people. It doesn't really matter where your hips end up. Just find some motion back and forth, inhaling, dropping down into Anahatasana. Exhale, pulling the ball back, rounding through the back body, tucking chin into chest. Couple more rounds, let it feel good. And last one, finish up. Or pause the video and linger longer if you'd like. Keep the ball towards the top of the mat. Step your right foot on the outside of it, and then lower your forearms down towards the ball. So we're finding a low lizard lunge. Back knee is planted. Right knee is wide. You could stay with the whole foot planted, or you could roll onto the pinky toe side of your foot. And broken record here, but maybe take some rocks and sways side to side. Could be really nourishing for your system. And this is also just really nice to bring the ground up to you. Sometimes we, in yoga, make our hip opening postures a little aggressive, and it's okay to turn the dial down and back off and let it feel actually good in your body instead of looking to achieve a certain posture or shape. And then we'll switch it out. So plant your right knee behind you, step your left foot forward on the outside of the ball. Pelvis is supported, forearms are propping you up, and then you can stay still or you can rock side to side, forward and back. Couple more breaths. Notice if you're clenching or holding anywhere and see if you can release a little bit. Good. Left knee steps back to meet the right. Tuck your toes. We're going to find Malasana at the back of our space. Heels can be lifted the entire time, or you can plant your heels down. I think I'm going to keep mine lifted today. And then hands or forearms and forehead are resting down onto the mat. You can drive your knees a little wider if you want to make more space. So a couple of different things we can bias here. You could, keep a little bit more of a neutral spine and focus on opening the hips and breathing down into the pelvic floor on an inhale. You could roll the ball a little bit forward and place the palms down. And think about rounding through the spine a little bit. Just see what feels good in your body and stay for about 3 or 4 more breaths. Gently release down onto your bottom and scoot forward towards the center of the mat. Roll onto your back. Your calves will come onto the ball. Your knees will be bent, probably not quite to 90 degrees, but somewhere along the way. And we're gonna take a little bit, almost like a windshield wiper. So knees drop over to the right and knees drop over to the left. Soothing, maybe massaging the low back on the mat. You can start to close your eyes down if you haven't already. And I'm placing my thumbs on the back of my pelvis or hip bone here. And that can almost be a nice cue to just gently initiate that rocking movement to the other side without having to use my leg muscles or my core muscles as much, but you can do whatever feels good for you. And then eventually find some stillness. Maybe your hands open up towards the sky. You could cross one ankle on top of the other to lock your legs in place. And rest here in your final posture for a few moments of stillness. Maybe savoring some release and some feel-good sensations in your body after taking care of it. You could cross opposite ankle for a couple breaths. And feel free to stay here as long as you have time for. If you're ready to transition out, you could roll onto a side and then slowly sit up. Eventually, open your eyes and feel into your body, take in the space around you. Notice if you want to finish up with any other wiggles or shapes or postures or breath. But I hope you feel good. Thank you for being here, and I will see you next time.